legends last.
Hey, welcome back to Rogues Crime Galleria. I'm your host, Todd H., and tonight we're going to get into infamous mobster Bugsy Siegel. But whatever you do, don't call him Bugsy. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, though, because we're here every Monday and Thursday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to bring you this great material. So right now, let's get into it.
All right, so today we're diving deep, really deep, into the life of Benjamin Bugsy Siegel. A name, I mean, you hear that name and you automatically think glitz, grit, the gamble, all that built Vegas, right?
Yeah, for sure.
But we're going beyond the typical gangster headlines, you know? We're using sources like Wikipedia, PBS's American Experience, even Encyclopedia Britannica.
Wow, going all out.
Oh, yeah. Got to get the whole picture. We're going to try to sift through all these contradictions, you know, really try to separate, like, fact from fiction. What do you think? Is that even possible with a guy like Bugsy?
Well, that's what makes him so fascinating, right? It's like he's this total paradox. You have this ruthless killer, helped shape organized crime in America, but then at the same time, this crazy charisma and ambition, you know, it's what led him to create something totally groundbreaking. The Flamingo Hotel.
Yeah, like the OG mega resort.
Right.
Kind of set the stage for everything Vegas is today.
Exactly.
So how does a guy go from, like, poverty-stricken streets of Brooklyn, you know, to hanging out with Hollywood stars and changing the face of Vegas? It's kind of mind-blowing.
Well, when you look at his early life, I mean, it kind of paints a picture of a guy who was just determined to escape his circumstances. Born in 1906, Jewish immigrant parents, grew up in a tough neighborhood, lots of poverty. You can almost see that drive to achieve something bigger, something more glamorous, taking root right there in his childhood.
Yeah, and that drive took him straight to organized crime. Like, teenager, running a protection racket, targeting pushcart peddlers. I mean, can you imagine kerosene to get what he wanted? A kid.
It's pretty intense. A stark reminder that Siegel's path to power, violence paved the way. Intimidation, brute force, all that. A pattern, by the way, that would continue, you know, throughout his whole life. But it's worth noting, this was the era of prohibition, right?
Oh, yeah, of course.
And the opportunities for a guy like Siegel, ambitious criminal leanings, well, they were everywhere.
Prohibition really fueled the whole rise of organized crime. And for Siegel, that's when he started working with Meyer Lansky, you know, another big player in the mob. But this wasn't just any partnership. This was a Jewish gang, right? In a world full of Italian and Irish mobs.
Exactly. They really stood out. And they're dynamic. Totally fascinating. Lansky, he was the brains, the strategist. Siegel, he was the muscle, the enforcer.
The classic 1-2 punch.
They really, like, complemented each other perfectly.
I know. I always wonder what those guys talked about. Like, I read this anecdote. It's in Lansky's biography, also mentioned on Wikipedia. It talks about Siegel. He's just, like, shooting at some guy, threatening one of his friends.
Oh, wow.
Talk about loyalty, but also shows his impulsiveness. Like, hair trigger temper.
Totally. It's a great example of how Siegel's violence could be both calculated, you know, strategic, but then also completely spontaneous. Like, was it really necessary to just, like, shoot at the guy? Or was it just a reaction, you know? Crazy as a bedbug, that's where he got the nickname, right? Bugsy.
Which he hated.
I know, right?
It's so ironic. The nickname that basically highlights the thing everybody was afraid of, you know, the unpredictability, the volatility.
Speaking of attracting and repelling, what about Murder, Incorporated?
Oh, yeah. I can't forget about that.
Chilling name.
The enforcement arm of the syndicate.
Yes.
You know, for anyone who's not familiar, syndicate basically means, like, the organized crime network.
The big leagues.
And Siegel, well, he was a founding member.
Yeah.
Chief operator, linked to tons of murders, really, like, reshaped the American Mafia during this crazy period of, you know, gang warfare.
It blows my mind that a guy who was involved in, allegedly, all these high-profile hits, like, his only conviction was for gambling and vagrancy.
I know. It just shows you how much power and corruption was going on in the criminal world back then. Siegel, he was, like, untouchable. Teflon Don, right, but like all good things.
They come to an end. His ambition led him west, right, California, where the syndicate was expanding. So was it just about escaping, like, his enemies back east, or was there something else going on? Probably both, to be honest. He definitely had rivals in New York who wanted him gone, but I think he was also drawn to, like, the allure of Hollywood, new ventures, new opportunities on the West Coast. He wasn't just a gangster. This guy was an entrepreneur, always looking for the next big score.
And he found it in Los Angeles,
Yep.
took over the numbers racket, which for you and me is basically an illegal lottery system, hugely profitable. Also, established drug routes from Mexico, worked for the Chicago outfit.
Oh, yeah, another fun group.
Another fun group on wire services, placing bets.
Yeah.
And get this, by 1942, these operations were earning the syndicate a whopping $500,000 daily.
Huge. And that's what set Siegel apart from other gangsters. He could navigate both the criminal underworld, right?
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah.
high society. He had this undeniable charm, Could hang with movie stars and studio execs while running his illegal stuff on the side.
The life.
Yeah.
It's like this gangster who wanted all the glamour and sophistication of Hollywood, befriended stars George Raft, Jean Harlow, through these lavish parties, expensive clothes, cars.
He was obsessed with class. That's what he called it. And yeah, part of it was image, power, But I think deep down, he also wanted to, distance himself from his past, from that poverty he grew up in. Wanted to be accepted in a way that he never really was before.
Trying to rewrite his own story, invent a new persona.
Yeah. Exactly.
But we all know the past always catches up, right?
Yeah.
Especially in Siegel's world.
Oh, yeah. And the next chapter of his story, the one that really cemented his place in history, well, that took him to a dusty desert town with, tons of potential, Las Vegas.
So Las Vegas, huh? It's crazy to think about what it is now, all the extravagance and excess. But back then, it was just this tiny little desert town.
I know. It's wild. But Siegel, with his, big dreams and ambition, he saw something there.
It wasn't just about, gambling, though, right?
Yeah.
He wanted something more, like a real, luxurious oasis, attract tourists, celebrities.
Exactly. It all goes back to this thing with class. He wanted to elevate Vegas, make it a real destination, something that could rival Hollywood, for glamour.
And that ambition led him to the Flamingo.
Right.
The Flamingo. You hear that name, you think pink feathers, bright lights, the whole shebang. But the story behind it, it's not glamorous at all.
It's a story of, really big dreams, costly mistakes, and, betrayal.
The whole package.
In the beginning, the syndicate actually tasked Siegel with, just overseeing the construction. It was for Billy Wilkerson, gambler, founder of The Hollywood Reporter.
Oh, wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, but Siegel, being Siegel, couldn't just, sit back and watch, right? He took over the whole thing, forced Wilkerson out, and just poured millions of dollars, mostly mob money, into this desert paradise.
So he was in way over his head.
Oh, yeah. He was obsessed with every little detail, imported marble from Italy, custom furniture, even insisted on having private sewage pipes for each room.
Private sewage pipes. Okay, now that's just fancy.
He was all about the details, But all that extravagance, well, it came with a pretty hefty price tag. The project went way over budget, which, didn't sit well with the mob. They thought he was skimming.
And knowing Bugsy, I mean.
Right. It's not a stretch to think he might have been. And then, to make things worse, the Flamingo's grand opening. Total disaster. December 1946, bad weather. Most of the Hollywood people he invited, they didn't show up. Construction wasn't even finished. And of course, the casino lost money on its opening weekend.
Oof, talk about pressure. So did he just give up?
He got a second chance. But of course it came with conditions.
Yeah.
Meyer Lansky, his old pal, he had to step in, smooth things over with the other bosses.
Those must have been some intense conversations, right? Lansky was powerful, but to go up against the heads of the syndicate, defending Siegel, that's pretty gutsy.
Yeah, for sure. But he managed to convince them, give Siegel a few months, renovate the Flamingo, get things running smoothly, start turning a profit.
So the Flamingo got a reprieve. Did it work?
He pulled it off. They did some renovations, got a good publicity campaign going. And when it reopened in March 1947, it started attracting crowds. Looked like Siegel's gamble might actually pay off.
You'd think that would, calm things down with the mob. But we all know how this ends. What happened?
Well, while the Flamingo was getting back on its feet, Siegel's past was catching up. Remember, he made a lot of enemies. And those suspicions about, him and the money, they never went away.
It's like a ticking time bomb.
Yeah.
He built this amazing place, this vision of glamour in the middle of the desert, but it's his own actions that are putting it all at risk.
Exactly. And June 20th, 1947, boom. Siegel was murdered in Beverly Hills, shot multiple times. He was reading the newspaper in his girlfriend Virginia Hill's mansion. It's like a scene straight out of Hollywood, right?
So brutal. Do they know who did it?
Officially.
Yeah.
Unsolved. But the theories, plenty of those. Most people point to the mob, you know? A hit. They thought he was skimming, or maybe they just saw him as a liability.
It's almost tragic. He put so much of himself into this project, saw it succeed, and then bam, it's all taken away.
There's a lot of irony there for sure. The Flamingo, his dream, his obsession, becomes his downfall. But it's important to remember, just minutes after his death, other syndicate members, David Berman, Mo Sedway, they walked right into the Flamingo, took control.
Wow. No time wasted.
They were ruthless. But taking over the Flamingo, that ensured Siegel's vision would live on. The hotel, it did great under their management, and, it kind of paved the way for all the mega resorts we see in Vegas today.
So even in death, Bugsy Siegel played a role in shaping Vegas. Complicated legacy, to say the least. Ruthless killer, visionary entrepreneur, a man obsessed with a class he could never really achieve.
Oh, walking contradiction, a product of his time. He fascinates us and kind of repulses us at the same time. But before we wrap up his legacy, maybe we should take a look at how his life has been portrayed in pop culture. What does that tell us about our obsession with the whole gangster thing? We'll dive into all that in the last part of our Bugsy Siegel deep dive.
Okay, so we're back for the final part of our Bugsy Siegel deep dive. We've covered a lot: his life, his crimes, dreams, failures, all of it.
Yeah, what a story.
As we wrap this up, I think it's interesting to think about how his story's been told over the years, not just in history books, but in movies, TV, even comic books.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, Bugsy Siegel, the man, is almost like a myth now, a legend.
And he's been played by some pretty big names in Hollywood, too. Warren Beatty in Bugsy.
Yeah, that's a classic.
Armand Desante in The Marrying Man. Popped up in Boardwalk Empire.
Yeah.
Even like DC's Legends of Tomorrow. It's wild.
He's everywhere.
Why do you think we're still so captivated by him? Like, it's been decades.
I think it's that whole, outlaw allure, The gangster who doesn't play by the rules. It's kind of romanticized, right? The danger, the glamour, the power.
Yeah, but it's a dangerous romanticization. We can't forget Siegel was responsible for a lot of bad stuff. Violence, pain. He built his whole empire on fear.
You're right. It's easy to get caught up in the legend, the Hollywood Bugsy Siegel, the charming rogue who built Vegas. But the real guy, he was complicated, and ultimately, it's a pretty tragic story.
That's the thing, right? He's a man of contradictions. So driven, wanted to be accepted, needed control. And it consumed him.
Totally.
His story, it's kind of a reminder that the American dream, all that, the success, the status, it can be dangerous, especially when you're cutting corners, exploiting people, using violence.
It's like a cautionary tale, the dark side of ambition, the seduction of power, what you lose when you compromise your morals for your goals. Heavy stuff.
So, big question. What's Bugsy Siegel's legacy? How should we remember him?
Well, we gotta acknowledge his part in shaping Vegas. I mean, he had that vision, that glamorous desert oasis. That's the foundation for the city today, right?
But we can't just ignore the bad stuff. The violence, the ruthlessness, all the compromises he made.
Yeah, it's messy.
It's a complicated legacy, that's for sure. And it's really up to each of us to, grapple with that. See him as more than just a gangster or a visionary. He was a human being, flawed, fascinating. Definitely left his mark, that's for sure.
Absolutely. I think that's what makes these deep dives so interesting. We got to look beyond the surface, Think about the nuances. Come to our own conclusions.
Well said. Thanks for joining us on this journey into Bugsy Siegel's world. I hope it's been insightful, made you think a little bit, and hey, maybe even a little entertaining too.
For sure. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, keep diving deep, everybody.
Thanks for tuning in for another episode of Rogues Crime Galleria. I'm your host, Todd H., and tonight's show was all about the one and only Bugsy Siegel, Las Vegas visionary, swab mobster, and the kind of guy who could plan a luxury casino by day and a hit job by night. They say he had movie star looks and a gangster's temper. Talk about a dangerous charm. Anyway, a big shout out to my always brilliant co-host Eli Stone, who digs up the dirt with more precision than a mob accountant on tax day, and Nora Steele, whose insight cuts cleaner than a tailor in a Vegas back room. You both make the show smoother than Bugsy Siegel business pitches. If you liked tonight's episode, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and share it with your friends, and tap that notification bell so you never miss a single story from the darker side of history. And with that, that is tonight's show. So we'll see you next time on Rogues Crime Galleria.
Step inside, don't look back. Every shadow's got a name. From the alleys where the cold steel sings, to the suits with blood on diamond rings, ghosts of power, greed, and flame. Every legend leaves a stain. Whispers crawl through history's halls, mugshots hanging on haunted walls. Outlaws riding, empires fall. You're one step from it all. Truth gets buried, lies get tall, but we're the ones who hear the call. Welcome to the Rogues Galleria, where the wicked live forever. Every crime, every killer's tale, locked in time, we unveil. Yeah, the darkness tells ya you can't run from your past. In the Rogues Galleria, we make the legends last. We make the legends last. Ponzi kings with a silver grin, my boss deals in a world of sin. Six gun smoke in a desert sky, another outlaw lives a lie. Cold case files and a killer's code, buried truths on a broken road. Every story that chills your spine, we bring it back to life. No escape when the truth gets loud, faces staring from the crowd. Welcome to the Rogues Galleria, where the wicked live forever. Every crime, every killer's tale, locked in time, we unveil. Yeah, the darkness tells ya you can't run from your past. In the Rogues Galleria, we make the legends last. We make the legends last. Every name carved in the night, every wrong dressed up is right. If you listen, you'll hear them breathe in the gallery. They never leave. Welcome to the Rogues Galleria. Step inside, don't you falter. Every sin, every twisted mind, we expose what you won't find. Darkness calls ya, now you're part of the past. In the Rogues Galleria, you ain't leaving once you pass. Rogues Galleria, where the stories never die.